All right, we get requests to review the Redline Easy 50 powder coating gun. This is one of two Redline guns. You have the Easy 50 and the Easy 100. The main difference between them is the kV output that the unit delivers. The 100 gives you 100 kV and this gives you 50. kV or kilovolts is what allows product to wrap to a surface. So with the higher kV unit, you're going to get better wrap, which translates into less powder waste. This unit is a little more cheap than the other one as far as price. It's $375, or the other one is $600. Again, the wrap can be a lot of help you with material savings. You will see it as we spray here that some of that overspray that you might get with this unit would be reduced with the KV100. We'll go ahead and show it to you. What you get with it, you get one cup in this unit. The 100 comes with two. It does have a powder to air mix controller, and then it does have kV adjustment here. Obviously, the higher the kV, the better the wrap, so you do want to tend to leave that up high. It comes with a couple different nozzle types that you can use. It's not a rebuildable gun, so once you do run into issues with the unit, it's pretty well considered to be done at that point. That's the main difference between this and a very expensive unit, like for the Wagner unit that we carry. Those are roughly $4,250, but they're rebuildable from the electric cascade to the tips and nozzles. Everything in there is replaceable. There's a lot more limitations on replacement parts, but for a smaller use application, for occasional powder coating, even a small job shop, this gun gives you a fair amount of control of the spray and the application of powder, and it's priced well. The cups are nice, especially for smaller runs. That'll let you quickly change out between your powders with minimal effort, and you can get a multitude of these cups for $7, so that'll let you change colors quickly. So you do have to plug it in the wall. There's a special adapter for the United States, and then on the airline, you have to have 1 inch to a 1/4 inch, which is a standard US air connection if you're using this in the United States, to adapt it to the gun. So that's a 1/8 inch fitting, but once you're there, then you can go ahead and use the unit. It does have these electric plates. You want to keep your hand bare to help you stay grounded. You also want to make sure your shoes are conductive to allow you to ground to the ground, and then connect the actual unit back by the wall to a grounding source, as there is a grounding cable provided. We'll show that to you here, and that's a grounded cable. So my product's grounded, and then we'll show you how the unit will function here. So I have it on a pretty rich powder mix with about as much electrostatic as I can get. You can hear a little bit, there's some charge going on, and that's because this unit allows you to control kVs, but not kVs and microamps independently. And so with a higher end unit, those will offset each other or be adjusted by you to compensate for issues with grounding out or Faraday cage areas a lot more effectively. That being said, for the price point, you can control it by dropping kVs and get into some of your cornered areas pretty effectively. I'm on a pretty rich powder mix at this point, so I'll cut it back to show you what that looks like if I significantly turn down the powder and then slowly crank it up. You can see it gives you a pretty good variety of how much powder I can supply out of it. The lower kVs contribute a little bit to the waste, so higher kV would help with that. But overall, it's a great unit. For the price, it's very effective for occasional powder use, somebody trying to take the next step in their powder coating journey, not wanting to go with a full hopper fed unit. This would be a great next step, or even just touch-up work and occasional small parts and products that you may be powder coating. This Redline Easy 50 is great for that. And so that's kind of how the unit works. You need an airline, you need the electric controller to be plugged in, but they all come with the unit. And that's kind of how the Redline Easy 50 works. And you can see here as I powdered this, I'm using a gray to black powder, and I am getting a fair amount of wrap even around. So KV does well, and it works well for what it is, and applies the powder relatively smooth and evenly. You do have control over it with the air adjustment valve. So